Act 1. From Troy to Italy. Scene 1. Aeneas flees Troy. After Troy was defeated by the Greeks in the Trojan War, Troy was invaded. Venus told her son, Aeneas, second in command after Hector on the Trojan side, to sail away from Troy. He, along with his father, son, and Trojan crew members, fled.
Scene 2. Sailing along. They sailed for days on end, stopping at several places on the way, but were always chased out for various reasons. While sailing, Aeneas had a dream that he was destined to settle in Italy. A little while later, they found a safe haven where Helenus and Hector's former wife ruled. Helenus welcomed the Trojans and advised Aeneas. He told him, "Do not go to the east coast of Italy, for there are many Greeks. Where you seek is the northern and west coast of Italy. Also, you must not travel the short route between Sicily and Italy."
Scene 3. Cyclops encounter. Aeneas and company followed Helenus' advice to travel around Sicily. However, Helenus failed to mention that the southern part of it was inhabited by the man-eating Cyclops. They landed on southern Sicily and stayed the night. In the morning, one of Ulysses' sailors, who was accidentally left behind, ran to Aeneas' ship.
"Fly, up and away, with all speed, break the ropes that hold the boat to shore."
Aeneas did as he said, and as the Trojans departed, they caught sight of Polyphemus, the blind Cyclops, chasing after them. They got away safely, but the worst was yet to come. Scene 4. The Storm.
Juno hated the Trojans, but she especially hated Aeneas. His descendants, as you know, were destined by the fates to found Rome and conquer Carthage, Juno's pet city and her most favorite place in the world. She begged Aeolus, king of the winds, to drown Aeneas in exchange for the most beautiful nymph wife. He made a storm with waves touching the heavens, and Aeneas' father drowned. Neptune, however, did not like others interfering with the sea.
"I will not let my sister rule my territory." He then calmed the waters and let Aeneas' ship reach land. Scene 5. Carthage. Because of the rough storm, the ship had been blown off course and landed in Carthage, the city on the north coast of Africa. Juno had a plan. This was her city, and in time Rome would defeat it. However, if Dido, the queen and founder of Carthage, and Aeneas fell in love, he would never want to sail to Italy. Venus could see Juno's plan and was promised by Jupiter himself that Aeneas would come to found Rome. She sent her other son, Cupid, to Carthage because she also had a plan. Cupid made Dido fall in love with Aeneas, but let Aeneas remain indifferent to Dido. This way, Aeneas could collect many gifts from Dido, but would still be able to sail to Italy. "Aeneas, my love, you are welcome to all that my city offers." After days of being served like royalty, literally, Aeneas was reluctant to leave. But Jupiter, who had promised Venus the city of Rome, sent Hermes to deliver a message to Aeneas. He was to sail to Italy in order to claim his future empire.
"I must leave, Dido. Hermes has delivered a message from Jupiter that I must seek Italy once more."
"No, don't leave me! I love you!"
"Too bad. I don't know anything to you, and I don't care."
Without further ado, Aeneas and his men sailed away. In the distance, they could see flames springing up in Carthage, but they didn't know why.
Act 2. The Descent into the Lower World. Scene 1. The Sibyl of Cumae. The Trojans reached the west coast of Italy easily enough. When they arrived, Aeneas followed some advice Helenus had given him, and sought the Sibyl of Cumae. She was a woman of deep wisdom who could foretell the future and tell Aeneas what to do next. He found her, and she told him he could learn everything he needed to know from his father, Anchises, who, after drowning, lived deep below in the underworld.
"It is a great undertaking, my child, but I will travel with you." Scene 2. The Golden Bough. Before Aeneas descended to the underworld, he was to find a golden bough on a tree. He and his faithful friend Achates walked through the forest looking for the bough when they saw two of Venus's doves. Following the doves, they came upon Lake Avernus, the entrance to the underworld. There, in the tree by the lake, Aeneas saw the golden bough. Now he and the Sibyl could start their journey to find Aeneas' father.
Scene 3. Down to the underworld. The Sibyl and Aeneas headed out at nightfall.
The Sibyl started out by sacrificing and burning 4 black bulls to Hecate, the dread goddess of night. They went into the cave. They continued through a dark road filled with disease, hunger, and war, as well as discord and other curses of mankind. They came to a long river with many desperate spirits and an old man named Charon, who rowed a boat. Charon picked only spirits who had been properly buried to cross the lake in his boat, and he delivered them to the underworld. At the sight of the golden bough, he accepted Aeneas' request to cross the lake, and so Aeneas and the Sibyl continued on their journey. After passing Cerberus and Minos' judging place, Aeneas reached the fields of mourning, a place of unhappy lovers. There he found Dido.
Was I the cause of your death? I swear I left you against my will.
But she said nothing, and he continued onwards, shaken and tearful.
Scene 4. The Crossroads. Eventually, Aeneas came to a place where the road divided. He heard many tortured sounds, and so was scared. But the Sibyl reassured him.
To the left you will come upon the wicked being punished by another of Europa's sons, but the road on the right will lead you to the Elysian fields where your father is. They arrived at the Elysian fields, a place of beautiful green meadows, peace, and wonderful people. Aeneas and his father, Anchises, happily reunited, and Anchises started telling Aeneas all that he had learned while in the underworld. First, he showed Aeneas the river of forgetfulness and pointed out his future Roman descendants. Then, Anchises told Aeneas how to establish his home in Italy and how to avoid the hardships along the way. Next day, the Trojans sailed up the coast of Italy, seeking their destined home.
Act 3. The War in Italy. Scene 1. Juno stirring up trouble. Due to her hatred for the Trojans, Juno made the most powerful people in Italy, the Latins and the Rutulians, oppose them from settling there. She did this by sending one of the Furies, Alecto, who would cause much trouble. First, Alecto influenced Queen Amata, wife of Latinus, to oppose a marriage between their daughter and Aeneas. Next, she flew to the king of the Rutulians, Turnus, to oppose a marriage between his daughter Lavinia and Aeneas. Lastly, Alecto led Aeneas' son Ascanius to shoot a pet stag that belonged to a Latin farmer, and thus the Latins and the Rutulians joined forces to drive out the Trojans.
Scene 2. Aeneas' journey to Arcady. One night, Father Tiber, the god of the great river, visited Aeneas in a dream. He said that Aeneas must go upstream to where Evander dwells. He is the king of a poor town destined to become one of the proudest cities in all of Earth. Here, Aeneas would get the reinforcements that he needed. Aeneas began his journey the next morning and traveled upstream to Arcady. They were greeted with a warm welcome by Pallas, Evander's son, and King Evander. Aeneas and his crew spent the night in Arcady. The next morning, Evander gave Aeneas some advice.
My country is weak and cannot help you. If you go on the further bank of the river, there lies the Etruscans, whose former king, Mezentius, is helping Turnus, the leader of the Latin and Rutulian army. Etruria rose against him years ago due to his cruel ways, but are still hungry for his death. You will find them very willing to be Trojan allies.
Scene 3. The Great Battle. The Trojans were heavily attacked by Turnus' army, and so devised a risky plan. 2 Trojan soldiers, Nisus and Euryalus, went into the enemy's camp and began killing man after man. But due to the daylight, enemy troops from Latium caught sight of the shining helmet of Euryalus and killed them both. After many battles, all of the Trojan enemies were killed. Even Turnus was killed by Aeneas in single combat. And so, Aeneas found a new home in a strange land, which would come to be known as Rome, the ruling empire of the world.